This is the final application problem for this section of material. So we have during the 2006 Men's NCAA Division I Basketball Championship game, the UCLA Bruins scored 16 fewer points than the Florida Gators. Together, both teams scored a total of 130 points. How many points did the 2006 champion Florida Gators score during the game? So here again, let's step back from the situation and just sort of think about what they're talking about. Well, first of all, we're talking about two basketball teams, right? Scoring points. One of them wins the game. One of them makes more points than the other one. Well, the two teams that we're talking about here are the Bruins and the Gators. So I'm going to write that out to help me keep my information track of it. Now, we also know that the Bruins scored fewer points than the Gators. So whatever the Gators scored, we could subtract off of that to find out the Bruins. I really need to know how many points the Gators scored first. So let's call that X. And if we knew how much this team scored, we could subtract 16 from it, because it said the Bruins scored 16 fewer points than the Gators. So X minus 16 would be their score. Then it also talked about how many points the teams scored together. That's an addition. So the Bruins points plus the Gators points will equal their total points. We identified X minus 16 for the Bruins. We also identified X for the Gators, so when we add those together, we'll end up with their total points of 130, which was given to us in the problem. Now let's solve it. We have X and X that need to be combined since they're like terms, so that means 2X minus 16 will equal 130. Now let's continue solving. Let's add 16 to both sides to get rid of that. So we have 2X equals 146. Now we still have to get rid of the 2 and get the X alone. So we're going to do the opposite operation, which would be to divide both sides by 2. And we have left X equals 73. Now remember, you're not done. You have to go back and reread the problem and make sure that your answer makes sense, or if you need to do something extra. So we read through this problem and we see that this last sentence says, how many points did the 2006 champion Florida Gators score during the game? Well, the Gators we let represent X. And now we know that X is 73. We have now answered what they asked. They didn't say anything at all about the Bruins, how many points. Now, if they had, we could certainly now figure that out. But we have answered what they asked, and that's what's important.